Hello, and in today's founder interview, we're talking to Dries De Coster at Chat Automation. So Dries, tell me, what is Chat Automation?
Well, thank you first and foremost for having me. So Chat Automation is a B2B SaaS company where we build 24/7 digital worker bots that tend to focus on two main areas in the recruitment and staffing sector. So the first one is to help our clients generate more well-qualified candidates, and we tend to use our conversational AI piece there. And the second area is really to optimize and automate their back office processes through what we call robotic process automation. So it's RPA technology to really improve their operational profitability.
Okay, so RPA, some may have heard the term robotic process automation.
Yeah.
Most commonly associated with UiPath, the company that raised zillions.
Yes, correct.
And you're planning to take their business and put them out of business and focus on recruiting initially, is that correct?
Yeah, so our intention is to go vertical by vertical in terms of our growth. So yes, we would love to eat into their market share, but with recruiting agencies, we found a sector really where RPA has been unknown or has been unaffordable by going to the Automation Anywhere's UiPath of this world. It's just not affordable for some of these customers, so we're bringing it in at a much more affordable level.
Okay, so for anyone watching this, if you've got a growing or a larger company, you're probably inundated with recruiters pinging you. So Chat Automation is designed for the other part of the process, which is for employees, people looking for work, and how they connect with recruiters.
Yes.
So let's let's go through an example, because I think this will be fascinating. This is a perfect example of AI replacing or moving humans and doing things hopefully better. So there I am, a recruiting company. I've got people that are fielding incomings. Take me through how it works and how it replaces and helps improve efficiency.
Sure. Okay, so let's take the temporary recruitment world. So typically this might be blue collar type workers, right? Where actually a recruiter may be inundated with lots and lots of candidates. They are filling volume placements. So it's kind of a low touch, but actually high volume kind of setting. And what we do is help the recruiters see the wood from the trees. So really qualifying those candidates, recruiters end up with a well-qualified candidate straight into their laps, which then the automation part that kicks in is, in a lot of cases, for example, in forklift drivers kind of world, we then need to validate, hey, have these people got the right kind of licenses, etc., to actually drive a forklift, say in Amazon's warehouse. So that's where the automation can kick in that kind of middle and back office process of the recruiter, automating all of that, which tends to be where recruiters have a lot of people basically making up in the shortfall of where systems don't talk to each other. So people are having to do the process typically.
Interesting. And so what is your ideal customer profile? It's a recruiting company, presumably. What sort of size?
We'd probably say kind of a medium to upper mid-market type recruitment agency. The really big ones probably can afford to go to like a UiPath, certainly for the back office processes, but only to automate maybe a handful of those. And even there, I'd say we'd be interested in the tail of the processes, because again, we can bring Dwight, who is our digital worker interface for generic human tasks.
Okay, so your robot bot is called Dwight.
Yes,
and
correct.
Dwight is going to replace a person and cost less than a person. So this is fascinating, because this is all about AI, taking on these roles. So tell me, how much does Dwight cost and what does Dwight do? And then we're going to get onto the market size.
Sure. So Dwight stands for Digital Worker Interface for generic human tasks.
Okay.
And essentially, like you say, he's a digital worker. So we want recruitment agencies to have the ability to contract him at a fraction of an FTE. Tends to be the cost, right? So if you have a process that's taken 2 or 3 people's time, you can see how the ROI stacks up really quite quickly. And that's our business model, is you contract, what we'd like to do is you contract an army of Dwight. So we may start with 1 or 2 processes, but then we want to do a good job and then obviously take the tail of the other processes within a recruiter as well and have basically a land and expand strategy with our clients.
So recruiting is, I think, notoriously seasonal, whether it be, for some actual seasonal agricultural things, or the tech market, which goes up and down. But of course, you can terminate Dwight at short notice when you want and re-employ Dwight when you want, when the times are good again.
That's not quite how it works, unfortunately.
I know. Dwight's on a
36-month contract, so we might want to scrap that one. Because actually, Anthony, what we do is we will swallow the cost of the build.
Okay.
So we don't charge an implementation for Dwight. We just charge a monthly recurring fee, but obviously we are spreading that cost of the build over the term of the contract. And like I say to people, you don't tend to hire someone into your business with a view of sacking them after 6 or 10 months, right? So that's really how the business model works.
Okay, so this sounds amazing. Now, you might think, the recruiting company business isn't that large, but it turns out there are tons of them.
Yeah.
How many recruiters are there?
Well, it's actually an ever-growing market because a good recruiter will often leave their recruitment business and start off on their own, right? Because it's such a low barrier to entry into the sector. But there are about 29 to 30,000 in the UK alone. Our target markets are UK and US. And in the US, like with anything, everything's bigger, right? So you've seen there, our ticket items tend to be greater as well from a revenue perspective. But we really focus on kind of 10 recruiters or more, because typically that's where you're going to have some of these processes where it makes sense to automate, i.e. it's not just a small element of someone's job, but you have 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe more people doing these manual, mundane processes.
Okay, amazing. Tell me your traction so far.
So we're at early revenue stage. In the last month alone, we've signed up about 5 clients. Actually, the one we signed up yesterday, just to give you an idea, is 20K plus ARR. On a 3-year contract as well. So each year we're getting that kind of revenue. And that was talk about demonstration of pent up demand. That was a sales cycle of 2 weeks from start to finish. And there we are automating an onboarding process in and out of different systems and essentially delivering a cost saving on 3 FTE into that business.
All right, so if you're a recruiting company, how should they get in touch with you?
Well, you can either find Dwight on LinkedIn or you can just message me. But yes, if you can think of a process that actually you think, hey, this is quite people heavy, it's mundane, it has logic to the process, then we can teach Dwight to do that. You can absolutely find me on LinkedIn, so Dries De Coster or Chat Automation Limited. So that's www.chat-automation.com.
Okay, great, fantastic, thank you.
Thank you very much.